The incident with the clogged toilet seemed to come out of nowhere, disrupting the smooth flow of our lives in a way we hadn't experienced before. Despite 5 years of living in our home without any plumbing issues, about 4 months ago, the toilet in our master bedroom suddenly started acting up. It became so troublesome that we had no choice but to resort to using the toilet in our children's bedroom. At 35 years old, with my wife at 34 and 3 kids keeping us on our toes, finding time to address the problem was a challenge. My wife, understandably frustrated, kept urging me to hire a plumber, but I was determined to tackle the issue myself. With some past plumbing experience and a DIY spirit, I ventured to Home Depot one Saturday to purchase a drain auger, convinced I could fix it. After investing 2 days into the task, only to have the problem resurface, my wife's patience reached its limit. She grew tired of the inconvenience and insisted that we call a professional. Reluctantly, I reached out to the plumber I usually hire for my rental properties. Seizing the opportunity while my wife and kids were away visiting her mom, I arranged for the plumber to come over uninterrupted, hoping to surprise my wife with a quick resolution to the issue. Lately, I had been noticing a shift in my wife's demeanor. She seemed more moody and short-tempered. Wanting to lift her spirits, I saw this as an opportunity to do something thoughtful for her. Utilizing our keyless entry system, I remotely granted the plumber access, eagerly anticipating the relief my wife would feel upon her return. When the plumber contacted me later with news of rubber causing a clog in our sewer pipe, I was skeptical. The idea seemed far-fetched, considering I hadn't used rubber in years, not since my college days when my wife and I were still young and carefree. However, the footage from the drainpipe camera provided undeniable evidence, dispelling my doubts. By the time my wife returned home that evening, it was late, and I was preparing for an early morning work presentation. Her gesture of bringing food, not only for me but also for our neighbor and his kids, spoke volumes about her caring nature. Eager to lighten the mood, I shared the plumber's findings, expecting her to join me in laughter over the unexpected culprit behind our plumbing woes. Laughter filled the air, a welcome relief in what had been a tense situation. However, when I disclosed the plumber's surprising discovery of used rubber protection in the toilet, my wife's reaction caught me off guard. She tensed up, her face flushing red, an unexpected response that immediately set off alarm bells in my mind. I've grown accustomed to her behavior over the years, and this reaction felt out of character, leaving me with a nagging sense that something wasn't quite right. Initially, I struggled to interpret her reaction. Perhaps it was just another one of her mood swings, I reasoned. After all, she had been grappling with unexplained moodiness for the past 4 months, and despite my best efforts to uplift her spirits, the cause remained elusive. As a devoted stay-at-home mom, now with our 3 kids in school, she had been searching for a sense of purpose to fill her days. We had even considered her rejoining the workforce about a year ago when she began feeling down, attributing it to the kids growing older and her desire for something more fulfilling. However, her abrupt change of heart 6 months later took us by surprise, and coincidentally, it was around this time that our intimate life began to decline. I couldn't ignore the subtle shifts in her behavior, her increased focus on household chores, frequent changes of bed sheets, and a noticeable withdrawal from social interactions. Her outings became limited to shopping trips or gym visits, and she underwent a significant physical transformation, shedding around 30 pounds during this period. Even her choice of attire underwent a striking change, with lingerie and short shorts becoming staples, and on several occasions, she would forgo underwear altogether, especially when visiting the neighbors. Reflecting on these changes now, it all falls into place. It's clear to me that she was laying the groundwork for an affair, and the pieces of the puzzle began to fit together. However, in the midst of the plumbing incident, I was oblivious to the truth, grappling with confusion and uncertainty about her uncharacteristic behavior. Cody at the time, but looking back, it's clear that subtle signs were there, hinting at a shift in her behavior that I failed to recognize. Our friendship with Cody and his family blossomed quickly after they moved in next door. Despite the initial shock of Cody's marriage unraveling, my wife and I rallied around them, offering support and companionship during a tumultuous time. Little did I realize that my wife's kindness and generosity towards Cody and his children would pave the way for an unexpected turn of events. As Cody grappled with the heartbreak of his failed marriage, my wife extended gestures of goodwill that, in hindsight, seem overly intimate. She began cooking surplus meals, ostensibly to share with Cody and his kids, and welcomed his son into our home for tutoring sessions with our own children. Our household became a sanctuary for Cody's family, a refuge from the upheaval they were experiencing. In many ways, it felt as though they had gained a surrogate family in us, filling the void left by Cody's ex-wife. Yet, amidst these acts of compassion and camaraderie, subtle changes in my wife's demeanor began to emerge. It wasn't until later, when I reflected on the sequence of events, that the pieces of the puzzle fell into place. A particular incident stands out vividly in my memory. A day when we were preparing to visit Cody's house, and my wife inexplicably chose to wear a shorter skirt than usual, coupled with the absence of undergarments. In the moment, I brushed it off, attributing it to forgetfulness or a mere oversight. However, upon later reflection, her dismissive response to my inquiry about her choice of attire left me unsettled, planting seeds of doubt in my mind. In hindsight, it's painfully evident that I missed the signs, subtle cues that hinted at a burgeoning intimacy between my wife and Cody. The warmth and camaraderie we extended to Cody's family inadvertently paved the way for a deeper emotional connection to form, one that ultimately led to the unraveling of our own marital bond. A security camera in our bedroom to confirm my suspicions, but at the time, I was hesitant to take such drastic measures. Instead, I chose to confront my wife directly, hoping for a straightforward explanation that would assuage my fears. However, as I broached the topic with her, her reaction only served to deepen my suspicions. She became defensive, evasive, and noticeably uncomfortable, avoiding eye contact and offering flimsy excuses that failed to alleviate my growing sense of unease. It was as if she was concealing a guilty secret, her words laden with an air of deceit that hung heavily in the air between us. In the days that followed, my mind became consumed with unraveling the mystery of her infidelity. I scrutinized every aspect of our lives, searching for clues that would lead me to the identity of her affair partner. I couldn't shake the nagging feeling that someone close to us, someone I trusted, was betraying me behind my back. Yet, despite my efforts to uncover the truth, I found myself grasping at straws, unable to pinpoint the source of my wife's deception. The more I delved into her activities and interactions, the more elusive the answers became, leaving me feeling helpless and adrift in a sea of uncertainty. As the weeks passed, my suspicions continued to gnaw at me, casting a shadow over our once happy home. Every interaction with my wife felt tainted by the specter of her betrayal, leaving me questioning the authenticity of our shared moments and the sincerity of her affections. In the midst of my turmoil, I found myself grappling with conflicting emotions, anger, hurt, and profound sadness vying for dominance within me. The thought of my wife's infidelity pierced me to the core, shattering the illusion of trust and intimacy that had once defined our relationship. And yet, amid the wreckage of our shattered marriage, a glimmer of resolve began to emerge within me. I refused to let her betrayal define me, to allow it to erode my sense of self-worth or diminish my capacity for love. In the face of adversity, I chose to stand tall, to confront the painful truth head-on, and to reclaim my dignity and self-respect. Though the road ahead may be fraught with challenges and uncertainties, I refuse to succumb to despair. For I am not merely a victim of betrayal, but a survivor, a man determined to rise above the wreckage of his broken dreams and forge a new path forward, guided by courage, resilience, and an unwavering belief in the power of redemption. The gradual unraveling of our once solid marriage began to weigh heavily on my mind, haunting me with each passing day. 2 months had slipped by since the plumbing incident, yet the chasm between my wife and me seemed to widen with each passing moment. Our once intimate connection had devolved into a hollow shell of what it once was, leaving me to grapple with a profound sense of loss and longing. The signs of our growing estrangement were painfully apparent. We drifted further apart with each passing week, our attempts at intimacy met with excuses and avoidance. The spark that once ignited our passion had flickered out, replaced by a palpable tension that hung heavy in the air between us. I couldn't help but feel a pang of guilt as I watched my wife withdraw into herself, her once vibrant spirit dimming with each passing day. She seemed lost in her own world, distant and detached, her words tinged with bitterness and resentment. Her criticism cut me to the core, her words echoing in my mind long after they were spoken. She blamed me for my perceived shortcomings, urging me to change my habits and appearance in a desperate bid to salvage what remained of our fractured relationship. Desperate for a solution, I turned inward, scrutinizing my own reflection with a critical eye. I saw a man burdened by his own insecurities, haunted by the specter of his wife's infidelity. Her words stung with a cruel irony, serving as a painful reminder of the betrayal that lurked beneath the surface of our once happy home. It was during one of my early morning workouts, a feeble attempt to heed her advice and reclaim some semblance of self-worth, that I stumbled upon the damning evidence hidden beneath our bed. The glint of plastic caught my eye, a silent testament to the deception that had infiltrated our sacred space. In that moment, the truth came crashing down around me, shattering the fragile illusions I had clung to in a desperate bid to preserve our crumbling marriage. Anger and disbelief surged through me, mingling with a profound sense of betrayal that threatened to engulf me whole. With trembling hands and a heavy heart, I made the fateful decision to confront the truth head-on. I couldn't ignore the evidence that lay before me, nor could I continue to live in denial of the painful reality that awaited me. Summoning every ounce of courage I possessed, I took the first step towards uncovering the depths of my wife's betrayal. I installed hidden cameras in our bedroom and living room, a silent witness to the betrayal that unfolded within the walls of our once happy home. As I watched the live feed from my phone, my worst fears were realized. My wife, the woman I had loved and trusted with all my heart, stood before me, her actions a damning indictment of her infidelity. In that moment, the facade crumbled, revealing the painful truth that lay hidden beneath the surface of our shattered marriage. The sun had begun to set, casting long shadows across the quiet street. As I stepped into the house, the air felt heavy with the weight of betrayal, each corner haunted by the memories of what had transpired earlier that day. My wife's belongings lay scattered about, a stark reminder of the life we had built together now shattered beyond repair. I moved through the house with a sense of purpose, my actions guided by a mix of anger, hurt, and a desperate need for closure. With each item I packed into boxes, the reality of our shattered marriage sank in, leaving me to grapple with the painful realization that the life I had once known was gone forever. Despite the chaos swirling around me, a sense of clarity began to emerge from the wreckage of my shattered dreams. I knew that I couldn't continue to dwell in the past, consumed by bitterness and regret. I needed to find a way forward, to reclaim my sense of self and rebuild my life from the ashes of my failed marriage. In the days that followed, I leaned on the support of friends and family, drawing strength from their unwavering love and encouragement. Together, we navigated the complexities of divorce proceedings, each step bringing me one step closer to closure and healing. As I began to untangle myself from the wreckage of my past, I realized that I was not defined by the actions of others. I was not a victim, but a survivor, capable of forging my own path and creating a future filled with hope and possibility. In the quiet moments of solitude, I allowed myself to grieve for the life I had lost, but I also embraced the opportunity for a fresh start. I sought solace in the simple pleasures of everyday life, finding joy in the small moments of beauty that surrounded me. With each passing day, the wounds of betrayal began to heal, replaced by a newfound sense of resilience and strength. I emerged from the darkness stronger than ever before, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead with courage and determination. Though the scars of my past may never fully fade, I refuse to let them define me. I am a survivor, forged in the fire of adversity, and I will not be broken. As I look towards the future, I do so with a sense of optimism and renewed purpose, knowing that the best is yet to come. The aftermath of discovering my wife's infidelity was a whirlwind of emotions and difficult decisions. As I stepped into the chaos of my home, emotions ran high, and the weight of betrayal hung heavy in the air. Cody's presence added another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation, but I knew that my anger was not directed towards him. He was merely a pawn in the heartbreaking betrayal orchestrated by my wife. In the midst of the turmoil, I found solace in the routine of daily life, retreating to the familiarity of my children's room to seek refuge from the storm raging within me. It was in those quiet moments that I began to confront the harsh reality of my shattered dreams and the painful path ahead. The following day dawned with a clarity that belied the heaviness of my heart. Despite the weight of sadness and shame that enveloped me, I knew that I had to take decisive action to protect myself and my children's future. With determination born of necessity, I set out to find a divorce lawyer, bracing myself for the difficult road ahead. Navigating the legal complexities of divorce was a daunting task, compounded by the emotional toll of unraveling a life built on trust and love. Yet, with each step forward, I found a glimmer of hope, a reminder that amidst the wreckage of my failed marriage, there lay the potential for a new beginning. As plans were set in motion for my wife to move out, and for us to begin the process of untangling our lives, I grappled with a profound sense of loss, that accompanied the end of our relationship. The future I had envisioned for my family had been irrevocably altered, leaving me to confront the stark reality of starting anew. Despite the upheaval and uncertainty that lay ahead, I refused to succumb to despair. With resilience forged in the crucible of adversity, I vowed to rebuild my life on a foundation of strength and determination. Though the road ahead would be fraught with challenges, I was determined to emerge from the ashes of my shattered dreams, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. The unraveling of my marriage has plunged me into a labyrinth of emotions and challenges that I never could have anticipated. What began as a routine plumbing issue, a mere inconvenience in the fabric of daily life, unveiled a web of betrayal and deception that shattered the very foundation of my existence. As I navigate the murky waters of divorce proceedings, the bitter truth of my wife's infidelity hangs heavy in the air. The revelation that she had been having an affair with Cody's son, of all people, was a cruel twist of fate that left me reeling. To add insult to injury, the financial implications of the divorce settlement weigh heavily on my shoulders, a harsh reminder of the cost of heartbreak. In the wake of the betrayal, I find myself grappling with a profound sense of disillusionment. Story 2. For over 2 decades, I believed in the sanctity of our marriage, cherishing the bond we shared as husband and wife. Yet the discovery that our daughter is not biologically mine has shattered my illusions, leaving me adrift in a sea of disbelief and anger. The pain of betrayal is compounded by the realization that the life I thought was mine is, in many ways, a lie. The image of marital bliss that we projected to the world was nothing more than a facade, concealing the cracks in our relationship that ultimately led to its demise. As I come to terms with the harsh reality of my situation, I am confronted with the unsettling truth of my own emotions. The desire for retribution simmers beneath the surface, fueled by a sense of betrayal and injustice that threatens to consume me. Yet, amidst the turmoil, I cling to the knowledge that forgiveness is the path to healing, however elusive it may seem in the darkness of despair. The fallout from the revelation of my wife's infidelity has rippled through our family, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. The once unbreakable bonds of love and trust have been shattered, replaced by a chasm of pain and resentment that may never fully heal. As I grapple with the aftermath of betrayal, I am reminded of the fragility of human relationships and the resilience of the human spirit. Though the road ahead may be fraught with challenges, I am determined to emerge from the ashes of my shattered dreams with my dignity and integrity intact. And as I confront the ghosts of the past and the uncertainties of the future, I am reminded that true strength lies not in the absence of pain, but in the courage to face it head-on, one day at a time. It's a complex mix of emotions that swirl within me as I witness the aftermath of my wife's actions. There's a strange dichotomy at play. On one hand, there's a sense of satisfaction in seeing her face the consequences of her betrayal. Yet on the other, there's a deep-seated fear and sadness that accompanies the unraveling of her life. Despite the turmoil, a part of me still holds on to the hope that she will find her way back from this dark chapter. At present, my children have chosen to stay with me, their trust in their mother shattered by the revelation of her infidelity. It's a decision that weighs heavily on my mind, knowing that they deserve to have a relationship with both parents. I've toyed with the idea of broaching the subject of reconciliation with them, but for now, they remain resolute in their stance. Perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect of this ordeal is witnessing the toll it has taken on my daughter. Struggling to reconcile her newfound knowledge with her deep love for me, she has taken on the role of the perfect daughter, going above and beyond to express her affection and appreciation. Yet beneath the surface, I can sense the weight of her burden, the nagging doubts and insecurities that plague her young mind. In an effort to address her concerns and alleviate her pain, we've embarked on a journey of healing together. Therapy sessions offer a safe space for us to confront our emotions and navigate the complexities of our fractured family dynamic. It's a process that requires time and patience, but with each passing day, I see glimmers of hope amidst the darkness. As for my daughter, her wounds may never fully heal, but I am committed to supporting her every step of the way. I've made it abundantly clear that her worth is not defined by her biological ties, and that my love for her knows no bounds. Together, we'll navigate the treacherous waters of trust and forgiveness, finding solace in the unbreakable bond that binds us together as father and daughter. If there was any chance of salvaging our relationship, but ultimately, it only reaffirmed what I already knew deep down, our bond had been irreparably shattered by her betrayal. Despite her pleas for forgiveness and promises of change, I couldn't ignore the fundamental breach of trust that had occurred. It's been a roller coaster of emotions as I navigate this new reality. On one hand, I empathize with my soon-to-be ex-wife's struggles and recognize the importance of prioritizing her mental health. Yet, on the other hand, I can't shake the feeling that her remorse is more about losing the life she had envisioned rather than genuine remorse for her actions. For now, I've chosen to postpone serving her with divorce papers, opting instead to focus on supporting my children through this tumultuous time. Their well-being is my top priority, and I respect their decision to distance themselves from their mother as they process their emotions. Despite the upheaval, there have been unexpected silver linings amidst the chaos. My daughter's resilience and strength have been a source of inspiration, and our relationship has deepened as we navigate this journey together. While my son grapples with his own emotions, I'm proud of the maturity and compassion he's shown towards his sister. Recognizing the need to address his feelings and experiences, I've made a concerted effort to foster open communication with him, ensuring he feels heard and supported every step of the way. Counseling has provided him with a safe space to explore his emotions and navigate the complexities of our family dynamic. As for my wife, the future remains uncertain. While I have no intention of reconciling, I'm committed to handling the situation with empathy and compassion, mindful of the delicate balance between holding her accountable for her actions and prioritizing her well-being. In the midst of upheaval and uncertainty, one thing remains clear: my unwavering commitment to my children and their emotional healing. Together, we'll navigate this challenging chapter with courage, resilience, and an unwavering belief in the power of love to overcome even the most profound of betrayals. As I reflect on the tumultuous journey of the past months, it's clear that hope can sometimes be a fragile illusion, easily shattered by the harsh realities of betrayal and deception. Despite my earnest efforts to salvage what remained of our fractured relationship through counseling, the chasm between us only widened with each session. I'll admit, there were moments when I desperately wanted to believe her assurances that the affair was an isolated incident, a regrettable lapse in judgment. Yet, deep down, I knew that trust, once broken, is not easily rebuilt. The wounds inflicted upon my heart ran too deep, and no amount of tears or pleas could erase the profound sense of betrayal I felt. It pained me to witness her anguish, to see her on her knees begging for forgiveness, but amidst her tears, I couldn't help but feel a sense of detachment, as if I were observing the scene from a distance, numb to the chaos unfolding before me. In the end, I realized that forgiveness alone could not mend the irreparable damage that had been done. The decision to serve her with divorce papers was not made lightly, yet it was a necessary step towards reclaiming my sense of self-worth and dignity. As she collapsed in hysterics, her parents' pleas for mercy falling on deaf ears, I couldn't help but feel a strange sense of detachment, as if I were an outsider looking in on a scene from someone else's life. In the aftermath of our separation, I've made it a priority to ensure my children's emotional well-being remains paramount. We've reached out to my daughter's biological father, not out of obligation, but as a means of providing her with the medical information she deserves. Yet her unwavering declaration that I am her father in every sense of the word fills me with a profound sense of gratitude and reassurance. Still, I can't shake the gnawing fear that one day she may yearn to connect with her biological roots, a prospect that fills me with both apprehension and acceptance. Yet for now, I choose to focus on the present, cherishing the bond we share and embracing the uncertainties of the future with an open heart and mind. As we navigate this new chapter in our lives, I'm grateful for the unwavering support and guidance of those who have stood by my side, offering solace and wisdom in moments of doubt and despair. To each and every one of you, I extend my heartfelt gratitude for your kindness, understanding, and unwavering presence. While the road ahead may be fraught with challenges and uncertainties, I take comfort in the knowledge that we are not alone, that we have each other to lean on as we forge ahead, one step at a time. And so, with a heart filled with gratitude and hope, I bid farewell to this chapter of our lives, embracing the promise of a brighter tomorrow.